Go to bed.
Right, Scott and I read Black Cloak.
Yes, we did.
It is Kelly Thompson and Meredith McCLAREN.
Would I be
It's probably
familiar with
McClaren.
I don't
either
know
one
that
of
I've ever
those?
even
No,
seen
probably
this or
not.
read it.
I think it's an image book.
Is it a mini?
It's ongoing. I think there's
Okay.
like 3 trades. What is a mini, Don? I mean,
Is
what
it
does
like
that even
5
mean?
issues? It's
Well,
a
this is
trade?
5 issues, but we read like
And
the
then
first
finished.
trade. No, it keeps going.
Okay. That's what a mini series means.
Yeah, this one is not
Like
a
it
mini
goes 4 or
series
5
because
issues and then it's done.
Oh, it's more like a maxi series.
But it's an ongoing.
it appears to be ongoing, but I think that they have particular arcs in mind. So in this one, it's really like what if the people of Middle Earth all lived in Minas Tirith almost to a certain extent, but
Yeah.
you've got essentially what kind of
A class
fairies,
system.
elves, humans, mermaids, kind of all living in the same city per se. And there is a bit of a class system going on. You got some racism, prejudices going on there. People can only work in certain areas. I think, what is it? The elves
Elves are kind of in charge.
Rule the roost.
The humans are right behind them, it looks like, maybe.
Could be. I don't know. The people don't like the fairies too well. Is that how it goes?
I
The
think
fairies
so.
kind of have a little bit of a magic, wizardy power or something.
Yeah.
A witchy power.
And then the mermaids just are like vicious creatures that like,
is
eat people.
true.
That was kind of
They're
interesting
pretty
take
vicious.
on mermaids.
Yes.
But black cloaks are kind of like the police force, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's the way I took it anyway. Black
Yeah.
cloaks are kind of like the enforcers. Yeah, your police running around. This kind of has like a Powers feel, in my opinion, in which
I get that.
you get, some young detectives. There's a murder that happened and they're out to investigate the murder.
Correct.
And
the prince was killed, right?
And it turns out that it happens to be the prince there, and this prince actually did have a bit of a relationship with one of the detectives, and so it has that personal feel for one of the detectives that's investigating. And of course, it's a typical thing where there's a little bit more larger conspiracy type aspect at hand.
And the detective was engaged to the prince, and then she became an outcast, and so now she's like a detective.
Yeah.
The art's really cool.
So the art is pretty nice. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's what I said. It does have that Powers feel, I guess, with it.
Fantasy type kind of feel to it.
What did you think?
It was okay. I enjoyed it for what it was. It didn't blow me away. I felt like the story moved a little slow for my taste. Like it could have, there's a lot of world building they're doing.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of times where they're intentionally keeping stuff just to build kind of suspense and mystery, where they could just tell you that it wouldn't make that big of a difference.
I was feeling the same way. I felt like it was falling into a certain tropiness, I guess, going through there. Some of the dialogue that was going on, I think, it didn't feel very original, I guess, per se. While I was trying to feel like this kind of fluid thing, in some cases it felt a little forced. I also thought in some areas there was a little bit of a either jumpiness or kind of fill in the blank. I didn't quite, while it didn't affect the flow too much, it kind of broke it up a little bit sometimes, with how it kind of jumped to a certain aspect of things that they needed to do. Now, having said that, that I'm kind of, being on the negative side there. I will say I like the idea, and I do think that some of their plot points were pretty cool of things that they wanted to hit. I did find it entertaining. I did find, some of the characters a little interesting. But like I say, on the flip side, there was a certain either I don't know if it was pacing, tropes, maybe the language not quite hitting the way I wanted to dialogue wise, but it just didn't hit it into that upper echelon for me by any means.
I think there were too many characters that they were trying to introduce at one time.
That could be too.
There was also one point, and I think I said this at some point, but there was a character towards the end who reveals himself as oh, it's that guy. And they're like, who the fuck is that guy? And I go back 100 pages and he was in one panel 100 pages earlier, and they said his name.
Yeah.
Was I supposed to remember that so that this reveal had some kind of impact? Because
yeah.
I did not. Did you see that? Remember that part too? Or?
I knew he was a guy from the court or whatever else, but I mean,
we barely saw him.
But yeah, I mean, the fact of an impact, big whoop, you
So
know.
I think if they had a tighter cast of characters, I mean, I realize it's a big world and they have all this conspiracy, but I felt that they could have had a tighter cast of characters. I think they could have had some of those moments be a little more impactful.
I would agree. I would agree.
So
I think they were trying to play. They were really trying to manage, you know, trying to get things in a 5 issues or whatever it is, as well as world build.
yeah,
And
it's a lot.
it's a lot to do, and it just felt very like a freshman, you know, an initial writing artist team up, you know, of something like
Which
that.
is
Like
ironic
they
because
were
Kelly
still getting
Thompson
there.
is not a new comic book writer. She did
Okay,
a lot of
okay,
stuff for Marvel and DC.
okay.
So it's not like this is her first rodeo.
Rodeo there, yeah.
It almost felt like Blade Runner, but like fantasy. Got a little
Oh,
Blade Runner feel to it.
okay. I could see that a bit.
So,
Okay.
but yeah,
Like it was still a good read, but it just wasn't great by any means.
I agree with
Yeah.
that 100%.